Well, it's another video in the solutions series. This time on healthcare, and microphone isn't staying in my hair. Yeah, I'm not as confident on this subject as I was on the other ones. So I guess this video might be more of just a background on what the options might be. I see problems with the system we have, and I see problems with the idea of socialized medicine also. The fact is that healthcare can get really expensive. I've seen statistics. I don't remember the exact statistics, but something like, last 2 years of the average person's life, or something like $100,000, whatever the number is. It's something like that anyway. Anyway, it's a lot of money. You could build a house with the amount of money that it costs us to maintain our lives, and and then there's the whole question about how much is one life worth. Because some people it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep them alive, and these are hard choices and hard equations. And to have a purely capitalist approach where only the rich get to live a longer life gets a little bit obscene. I mean, it seems incredibly uncivilized and unfair. But there's the problem of who's going to pay for what. Personally, yeah, I wouldn't. I sort of look at it as life as, we're basically toasters, and you don't spend $10,000 to fix a toaster. You buy a new one, and there is an abundance of life on this planet, and most of it lives marginal existence on pennies, compared to what it takes us to live a sustainable existence. And so you certainly can buy human life very cheaply on the open market. I've used this statistic before, but some 2 million kids a year go blind for a lack of vitamin A. And there's all kinds of statistics like that. I mean, I don't know what the average cost per year of longevity would be, but it might be reasonable to say that you could probably buy a year of life for $100, statistically. And then that's part of this equation. I mean, if we're going to spend preposterous amounts of money to keep some people alive here, those resources obviously dedicated in some other place could buy years of life by hundreds of people. I mean, you're talking hundreds of years of life, that you're paying to keep one life here. And I'm certainly not for any kind of system that denies people the right to invest in their own longevity. So, like I said, these are hard things. These are hard choices. I mean, certainly we could socialize part of the system. We could socialize some guaranteed minimum of health care, and then allow people to buy extra. The wealthy could still buy more health care. But there's still this problem, like do we obligate everybody to invest in a system that they don't necessarily have any use for? Because I personally wouldn't see I don't want to live 10 years in a nursing home, and if I need a new liver or heart transplant, well, it's game over. I mean, no, we're not going to bother with that nonsense. And I certainly have no apprehensions about dying. It's obviously no one wants to die. I'm more concerned with how I die than when I die. And this is part of the equation. We have this pointless prohibition against people acting proactively or acting, to terminate their own life when time comes, and we force them essentially to be part of the medical system and to feed the medical industrial complex, thousands and perhaps hundreds of thousands of dollars for life they don't want, when they're perfectly satisfied and finished, but the system won't let them die in a humane or decent way, and so they just end up part of the system. So if we fix that, then we're going to obviously if we gave people the right to make a choice, to choose to terminate their own life, to end it gracefully when it's convenient for them, we'd obviously free up resources to take care of other needs, and that would be important because it takes some of the pressure off these important questions. And maybe we won't have to make these decisions about who gets health care and who doesn't. So I mean, in thinking about it, like I said, I don't have any specific idea that just says, oh yeah, that's the way to go. But I was thinking that it would be good to have maybe some kind of guaranteed minimum, $10,000 worth or whatever it is that every person's entitled to from birth, and that you can buy extra insurance beyond that, for expenses beyond that $10,000. And I also thought it might be an interesting approach is to give every person maybe another $10,000 worth of medical care they could distribute to another person. So say somebody who needs much more care than the average. Well, they could put a simple appeal up online, let's say, and people could use some of their tokens or their free $10,000 worth of vouchers or whatever you want to call it, and donate coverage to that person. So then at least there'd be some responsibility to justify the expense, and there'd have to be some public willingness to foot the bill for that individual. And I think with any system there's got to be some sort of copay, just to discourage people from, just to encourage people to take the system seriously. And obviously I think a copay would have to be in some ways means tested, but I mean everybody should pay something. There should be some sacrifice. You shouldn't get anything for free, absolutely free. Even if you're only paying $10, it should be some sacrifice. And if the rich can pay a little more, that's fine, but they shouldn't be. As much as I don't concern myself with impoverishing the rich, as I think they're way too rich, I don't see any point in using systems like healthcare to fix inequities in the capitalist system. And so I would make them pay proportionally more, but not extremely so. So that's basically as far as I've gotten on the issue. So obviously we'll see if anybody has other better suggestions or comments or whatever. But I think the real problem is that there are no perfect systems. We all shouldn't be obligated. Like I said, as I perceive it, I'm just thinking about a house burning down, and that's sort of the price we're paying for this health care that we get, these extra few years that we're buying. And I'd rather have the house. I mean, to me, a couple of extra golden years, the difference between whatever 87 and 90, maybe those aren't the best years. Maybe those aren't years I particularly care much about, and other people who do, certainly it's it's their choice. But I'm just saying, let's be clear about how much it does cost, and the expense can't just be assumed to be that everybody is willing to pay for it. Everybody shouldn't be obligated to pay into the system. I mean, there's got to be some willingness or some choice to say, no, I'll take my chances. I'll live my life, and if